Okay, everyone, I want you to mark November 2nd, 2019 as the day that hell officially froze over because I'm finally starting the video series on my truck, which you see behind me, which is my 1951 GMC called Project Why Wait, or SIE GMC. SIE obviously stands for Stance is Everything. Stance is Everything is the brand that I've sort of been monkeying around with for the past 10 years or so. Some of you might be following me because of that. Some of you might be following me because of my freelance work. You've seen me maybe in a couple articles in Performance Improvements magazine, Performance in Motion. I've also written for Pass Mag, Autostrada, a Kit Car magazine, Rod Authority, and Speed Hunters. I get around. I basically do all of that writing to pay for things like this. I also have a day job, so which is why the project takes a little bit longer than some of you might have been hoping when you first started tuning in. But you know, it is what it is. I'm just another guy like you out here in the garage, sort of trying to make something. I'm going to do sort of these videos as quickly and as often as I can. I'm not going to do too much production value around them, at least to start. I want to get them out as quickly as possible and just so that you guys can see what I'm doing out here in the garage. Don't worry, the blog updates on stanceseverything.com under Project Why Wait aren't going to go away, and the build thread is also not going to go away. I'm old school in that way, and I like to keep those things going. The video is just kind of adding on to that because I decided that I needed more work to give myself. As you can also tell, I'm trying to do these all sort of one take because I know that I need to get these done and out, and that's more important than sitting around and doing a bunch of editing. So hopefully I get a little bit better on my off-the-top delivery as the time goes on, but for now it is what it is. So this first video is going to be a little bit of housekeeping for you guys who might be wondering what this project is. If you've been following the build so far, this is a lot of information that you might know. But if you haven't, or you're just tuning in, I'm going to give you sort of a blast through, a quick walkthrough. So, cab you see behind me came from Saskatchewan on a much larger truck than I am sitting on right now. It was pretty much just a cab, short running boards, a big tilt frame in the back, 6-lug, all this stuff that I didn't need. Ripped that out at my friend Blair's place, Tailored Customs. You can follow him on IG. And we slid a frame that my friend Jeff Wybrow started a few years ago before he built a 10-second street truck. I bought that off of him and slid this under here. I put shock mounts in it, fuel cell, transmission cross member. I figured out the air management. Got it stripped by Stripping Tech, got it painted by Stripping Tech, and you know, basically took where he started, combined it with the chassis, the truck that I bought, and started from there. This is my first build of this sort of scale. I've obviously, done a lot of what everyone else has sort of done. Suspension, wheels, stereo, intake, exhaust, all that stuff. I wanted to build something a little bit more substantial. I've always wanted a bag truck. A lot of you guys know me as a really big S10 Blazer fan. I am a really big S10 Blazer fan still, but pretty much everybody around me told me not to build one just because they kind of are stuck in a bit of an era, no offense to my S10 guys. And I wanted something that I could build and keep for a really, really long time. That said, if you want to give me a Blazer project to start in maybe 3 years after this is done, I'll probably take it. But continuing on, so this truck chassis is custom back half, 4-link back half in the rear. We'll get into that in other episodes. I'm going to sort of show you guys what's going on in the rear, what Jeff did, what I did, what my plans are. Where I hit a few obstacles, but basically it's got RE7 bags in the rear, a rear end out of an 88 Trans Am, it's a posi, disc brakes are actually all around, the front clip is from a G-body, and it's got tubular arms up front there, D-humps control arms in the front as well. Jeff did all that, and then I'm going to be using Airlift 3H all around, so I've got ride height sensors all around to sort of allow me to ride as low as possible. The motor is going to be a 4.8 LS with a little bit of a cam in it and some minor work there. I'm building a cruiser, so I don't really need a ton of power, and also the 9-volt rear end in the back of this thing isn't known to be able to take a lot of power. It can handle a decent amount, but unfortunately it was also made in Australia, so if it blows up, that sucks for me. I actually have 3 rear ends right now just to hopefully get me by in case anything happens, but obviously I'm hoping that nothing happens and I can sort of keep that rear end in the truck for as long as I can. As you've also probably seen, I have shaved the firewall of the truck with LS Fabrication firewall fillers. I didn't really have a lot of sheet metal welding experience before I started this truck, or really much welding at all. I welded a little bit in high school, Streetsville Secondary, what's up? And I'm just sort of learning as I go. So I mean, that's sort of been the appeal that I've got from a lot of guys who've been following this. You know, a lot of people see media guys and they're like, hey, I'm going to start my build. And then they take it to a shop and the shop gets it done and the shop does everything. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to build something. 5 years into it, I still want to build something. So hopefully it won't take me another 5 years to finish, but that's what I want. I want to do something. I want to learn myself. I'm doing most of it now in my 2-car garage in the middle of the suburbs, as a lot of you guys have seen from the photos. It doesn't have heat. It doesn't have 220. But what it does have is 4 walls, a roof, and power. And so I can sort of chip away at a lot of the things here, and then occasionally, you know, it goes out to other shops, or I have some friends do stuff. Some of the people who've helped me is Blair, who I mentioned before, Tailored Customs. Mike at GT Custom Exhaust has helped me out a little bit, just with like me running over there to get tools or piping or whatever. Performance Improvements has helped me a ton with you know, stuff that I need. I probably message Andy at all hours of the night needing some product. Airlift has obviously helped me out. I Did It has helped me with the steering column. Stripping Tech, I mean, a lot of people have sort of helped me out and given me guidance along the way, and I thank all of you for that. And I mean, I thank everyone who sort of shot me a message and been like, hey man, I love the build that you're doing. I love your enthusiasm. It motivates me. That really means a lot, especially because, like I said, I have really no experience doing this before. I'm just sort of sitting in here, digging in, and doing what I can. So what's sort of up next, or what can you expect in the next upcoming episodes? I've got my Phytech intake manifold that I'm going to be putting on really soon, putting that on the motor, so you can expect to see a little bit on that. I've got, you know, front drive to figure out. I've got to figure out my front clip. I don't have I do not have a rad support right now, kind of built in because it was a front clip stop, as I said. So I got to put my whole front sheet metal on. I've got interior. I've got a bed in my backyard that's the wrong color and needs to be modified to sort of lay out. So there's a lot of stuff left to do. But I feel like I'm finally at a place now where I've gotten through all of the rust repair and stuff that I was doing and kind of have a handle on some of the stuff that I need to do. Like fuel lines, brake lines, all that stuff that was kind of hard and new to me is behind me. And I've got new hard stuff ahead of me. But, you know, I'm really excited to kind of get this thing moving. Obviously, the next question you guys are going to ask is, when is this thing going to finally be on the road? I don't know. I'd like to see it out of my garage by next summer, whether that's sort of under its own power or I just push the thing out there. But I'd really like to kind of be able to step back and see what it looks like. Putting the cab on was a big motivator, so I'm just going to keep working with that and sort of keep hustling along and see where I get. So I mean, hopefully you guys are on board with me and willing to check it out as it goes along. Hopefully, you know, you guys made it to the end of this video and I didn't sound like a rambling idiot. But if I did, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.